You want to start a Mediterranean diet but you don't know how? We're going to give you 10 easy tips based on expert advice from credible sources like Harvard Medical School and Mayo Clinic to get you started right away. Stick around for a grocery shopping list, meal ideas, and simple snack and dessert ideas at the end. We're not going to waste your time by repeating the major health benefits of the Mediterranean diet or explaining why it's ranked the world's healthiest diet every year by US News and World Report. Instead, we're diving right in. Tip number 1. Tape the Mediterranean diet pyramid on your fridge. Simply get a printout of this food pyramid that shows how much you should eat from each basic food group according to the Mediterranean diet, and hang it on your refrigerator so that you could familiarize yourself with it. At the very bottom of this pyramid, you'll see vegetables and fruits, which means you should consume a lot of leafy green vegetables as well as tomatoes, onions, garlic, and peppers. And of course, fresh fruits as opposed to dry or canned ones. In the second row, we have beans, legumes, and whole grains, which we will also eat almost as often. We can also add nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices into this category according to Mayo Clinic. Next up is fish and seafood, which is great news for seafood fans because we will consume it a little less than the first 2 layers, but still a good amount. Dairy and eggs are 2 things we can eat in moderation. White meat poultry with no skin is considered in this category. And finally, all kinds of meats, including red meat and processed meat. As for the ultra-processed foods, fried foods, and sweets, you can still consume those, but make sure to keep the amount even less than the red meat. Tip number 2. Switch to extra virgin olive oil as your main source of fat. When you're on a Mediterranean diet, you can actually consume olive oil with every meal, up to 4 tablespoons per day. This means both using it in your cooking and drizzling it on your salads, pasta, and cooked vegetables. Another fun option is to use olive oil to dip your bread. You can even use it in place of butter, mayonnaise, or sour cream. You can find a link to Amazon's #1 best-selling extra virgin olive oil that we also recommend in the video description below. Additionally, you can use grapeseed oil or avocado oil that are also unsaturated healthy fats. Tip number 3. Eat whole grain bread instead of white bread. While whole wheat is the most popular type, you can choose from a variety of whole grain breads such as whole barley, brown rice, and whole grain oats. So choose your favorite whole grain bread and eat 1 or 2 servings with every meal. Also opt for whole grain pasta and cereal rather than white refined versions. Tip number 4. Try a new vegetable every week. Get experimental and have some fun by adding different vegetables to your lunch or dinner menu every single week. Because on this diet, you should eat at least 2 servings of vegetables at every meal. Tip number 5. Start or finish each meal with a salad. Consider making a simple tomato and cucumber salad, mixed green salad with olives and feta cheese, or couscous salad with chickpeas. And don't forget to dress it with a drizzle of olive oil and freshly squeezed lemon juice. Now it's a perfect appetizer to munch on before or after your meal. Tip number 6. Cut down on meat. So this means you should reduce your red meat consumption to 1 serving per week. A popular recommendation is using meat as a condiment combined with vegetables as in stews, stir-fries, or soups. As for poultry, it is okay to eat up to 2 servings per week. Choose lean poultry if you can. And you should eat at least 2 to 3 servings of fish or seafood every week. Doesn't matter whether it's fresh or canned. Salmon, sardines, herring, mackerel, and tuna are great options because they're rich in omega-3 fatty acids. But for certain types of fish, there are recommendations about the maximum amount that should be consumed, so make sure to look that up before going overboard with your weekly consumption. Tip number 7. Eggs and dairy in moderation. When it comes to eggs and dairy products, eating in moderation is key. You can eat 2 to 4 eggs a week. And remember, while you shouldn't have too many egg yolks weekly, there is actually no limit on egg whites. As for dairy products, up to 2 servings per day is considered acceptable. According to Cleveland Clinic, on the other hand, you should limit dairy products to once daily and even less if you can. Opt for naturally low-fat cheese, fat-free, or 1% milk, yogurt, and cottage cheese. Tip number 8. Eat more legumes. Because they're an excellent source of plant-based protein, legumes are another staple of the Mediterranean diet. So at least 3 servings a week is recommended. Legumes include beans, lentils, chickpeas, peas, and more. You can simply boil them and throw them in your salad, pasta, or soup. Hummus, which is made of cooked chickpeas, is a delicious creamy dip sauce that could sneak legumes into your daily menu in a fun way. So make sure to give it a try if you haven't already. Tip number 9. Keep sugary drinks to a minimum. To sum up, you should either stop drinking these beverages or, just like ultra-processed foods and fried foods, try to reduce them as much as you can, aiming for an amount even less than red meat. Replace sugary drinks with water, carbonated water, or unsweetened tea. Also opt for whole fruits instead of fruit juice. Tip number 10. Minimize high sugar and high fat desserts. Limit your intake of high sugar and high fat desserts like cakes, candy, cookies, and pudding. Try to save them for special occasions or choose homemade desserts and pastries over commercially prepared ones. And limit it to less than 2 servings per week. For healthier homemade desserts, use liquid oil and whole grain flour. Alternatively, have fruit for dessert after your meals. If you're not a big fan of fresh fruit, try poaching your fruits. Apricots, peaches, apples, pears, and plums are perfect options to poach. Don't forget to sprinkle it with some cinnamon for a yummy flavor. Another simple dessert alternative is plain Greek yogurt topped with berries and nuts. Since you've already decided to switch to the Mediterranean diet today, you're gonna need a shopping list. According to Mayo Clinic, these are the traditional Mediterranean diet foods you need in order to plan your meals. Here's a list of vegetables, seafood, fruits, herbs and spices, dairy, nuts, beans, legumes, and seeds. Feel free to pause and take screenshots of this valuable food list. Here are some amazing meal ideas that are in accordance with the Mediterranean diet. Grilled vegetables with shrimp. Chicken stir fry made with olive oil and vegetables like broccoli, asparagus, and cauliflower. A whole grain pasta salad served with veggies. Vegetarian pizza made with your favorite vegetables. Black beans with bell peppers and brown rice. Steamed mussels. Lean roasted chicken over cannellini beans, salmon with mango salsa, cod with lentils, and here are some snack ideas. Whole wheat breadsticks and hummus, toasted quinoa and salmon salad, raw unsalted nuts, black bean burger on a whole grain bun, whole grain bread topped with low-fat cheese and tomato slices and extra virgin olive oil, oatmeal pecan waffles, whole grain toast with nut butter, roasted portobello sandwich. When you follow the Mediterranean diet pyramid, you'll be automatically lowering your overall fat intake, so it may also help you lose weight. Don't forget to subscribe to Food Clan.